Alright, Chapter 9, Movement and Transportation Information Exchange for the deployment and sustainment of redeployment. The purpose of movement and transportation information is to support the deployment plan, executing, monitoring, movement and transportation exchange, satisfy the information exchange requirements for the nation. NATO commanders provide visibility of the deployment plan status for the actual deployment, sustainment of flow, the deployment forecast, status of the movement and transportation infrastructure resource, the redeployment of the forces. 902 level of the movement and transportation information exchange the NATO movement and transportation reporting by multiple lateral information exchange and national reporting inter-theater exchange information exchange consignment with the tractional and transit visibility movement and transportation information exchange embraces the following principles. Reports will all be requested only in the need to know basis. They will include the regular updating occurrence of the reporting application. All reports are to be used. The report matters as exceptional. The movement and transportation importance that can be differed until the next day report. The atoms will be used whenever possible. The Allied Movement Control Coordinated Century will respond to the NATO military movement and transportation information exchange reporting. The NATO Movement and Transportation Information Exchange. These sending nations are informed of the Allied Movement and Control Coordinated Century and detailed deployment plans in the ATOMS format. Allied Deployment Movement System. In accordance with the established timelines during the execution of the deployments, sending nations will report the Allied movement coordinated with the century. The schedule based on the schedule will be articulated during the movement of the planning of the conference. It may be subject to change depending on the operational requirements. Special nation sending nations are provided with the Allied movement coordinated with the century and applicable with the information of the current status of the national deployment against the multiple national detailed deployment plan. MOVUS S rep. Or a movement assessment report. Host nations will report according to the Allied Joint Host Nation Support Doctrine procedures. The Host Nation Support Coordination Center, as designated in any of the regular basis of these reports, are also included in movement transportation relevant data. The Host Nation National Movement Controlled Century are encouraged to report the movement and transportation resource, the infrastructure situation directly to the Allied Movement coordinated with the Century daily. If not NATO Host Nation agreement, the report directly with the Allied Movement coordinated with the Century. Figure 911 illustrates the flow. 9.1 illustrates the flow of necessity information, but not accepting the direct link. All information from the channel through the host nation support coordinated cell or designated area. The Allied movement is coordinated with Century. It will inform the nation sending host or lead NATO commanders that there are a combined joint staff for logistics. Movement and transportation coordinated with the Joint Task Force of the Joint Task Movement staff on the issues affecting deployment, sustainment, and redeployment. 905 multiple lateral information exchange by or multiple lateral information exchange between sending host nations should cover the reporting as laid down with the Allied Movement publication, as in the Allied Transportation Policy and Procedures, 53 successor document with the respective annexes, operational plan, with the Standing Strategic Command Reporting Directive, Volume 5, Logistic Reports, and this 906 National Reporting, International Reporting between the nations. The national supporting element will be at the national discretion, and 907 in-theater information exchange. In-theater and information exchange should occur with the liaison between the special sending nation, host nation, and lead nation, and the National Movement Coordinated Century at the national commanders representative the applicable respective to the movement and transportation as the coordinated with the international organization, non-governmental organizations. 908 consignment of the tracking transit visibility. Nationals should develop an automated method to monitor the track of the nation's shipment with going to and from the NATO's of the Allied of operation of the deployment of the consignment of the ITV tracking system, or in-transit visibility tracking system, offering full integration automation with the NATO-led operation. Nation should fully integrate the tracking system in their plan of efforts to ensure the full visibility of the NATO expanded expertise. All right, starting at the Allied commanding operation for the Allied movement in Century goes from the multiple national detailed deployment friend or multiple nation move sit rep to the sending nations, and then back they send back the atoms to the detailed deployment deployment rep movement voc and to the ACO MCC. The ACO to MCC has the line of a threat of multiple national detailed deployment with multiple national deployed rep to Joint Force Command with the Movement and Transportation Staff to coordinate the Joint TFC Command and component commands into the international organization, non-government organizations. From the ACO AMCC goes to the National and the National Movement Coordinated Century host nation, and then to the non-supporting elements. Also from the National Movement Coordinated Century goes to the sending nations and the host nation transit for the FOB forward operating base. Chapter 10, Host Nation Support, Coordination, Operation, and Movement and Transportation Planning.